Okay, our first study in health psychology looks at stress and in particular the causes of stress. So we're looking at, we've examined the physiological reaction from the body when we perceive something as stressful. We have cognitive realization, but also a physical change in our body in response to stressful situations. So what we're going to look at in this study is work as a cause of stress. And we're going to look at two types of work. We've got repetitive work and work that requires responsibility. Now, most people with a job would agree that they experience some levels of stress. However, stress levels can differ according to the type of job held. Now, Johansson, 1978, looked at the stress response in the Swedish sawmill workers. And what he was finding was that those who were responsible for meeting targets and who had lack of social contact were more stressed. However, he also found people with less stressful jobs were still more stressed at work than at home, suggesting that any job can cause stress. So the aim is to investigate whether work stressors such as repetitiveness, machine-regulated pace of work, and high levels of responsibility increase stress-related physiological arousal and stress-related illness. So it was a quasi-naturally occurring variable experiment using independent measures design. The participants were 24 workers at a Swedish sawmill. 14 were classified as being high-stress risk group. These were the finishers. The finishers had to work at a set pace, governed by the production line. The work was complex and required a great deal of knowledge. Now, they were responsible for their own and their team's wages, and they worked in social isolation at the end of the production line. The job was repetitive, constrained, socially isolated, but also complex with a lot of responsibility. The other group of 10 workers were classified as a control group, and they had sort of low risk of stress, and these were 10 workers who were cleaners or maintenance workers within the factory. Now, each participant was asked to give a daily urine sample, and this was to measure the levels of stress-related hormones. Now, they took the baseline readings for stress in a person's physiological at home before the study started. So on a daily basis, they were given urine samples in the morning. Their body temperature was checked, and they were asked to complete self-reports, and this was about mood, alertness, the caffeine and the nicotine consumption they'd had during that day. And they completed these measures when they first arrived at work, and then 4 times during the day as well. So you might argue adding to their workload. Okay, the next pill related to this study will look at the results conclusion.